Rebecca is 42 years old. She has profound intellectual and multiple disabilities. What we've found over the years is that her epilepsy has caused probably the most problems for her. And because of the seizures, she spent a lot of time in bed, and this has adversely affected her posture.
That's it.
It was some years ago, and we noticed this sort of bulge in her sternum. It was sort of bulging forward. We went to see somebody at the hospital who really didn't have much to say, almost suggested that we couldn't expect anything else and it wasn't anything to worry about. And then over years, it became more pronounced and her whole rib cage began to twist. She had curvature of the spine as well, and her legs were windswept, and they discovered that she had a partial dislocation of one hip. So all this was contributing towards her permanently being in a very twisted position, both in bed and in her wheelchair.
The reaction from the physiotherapist at that time was they couldn't actually see that there was a problem. They just, I think, thought, well, this is just the way it is. We were very angry that somebody like Rebecca, who has really the most profound disabilities, it was just an acceptance of her problem.
I really was beginning to wonder how we could move things forward. If we couldn't make any progress with the physiotherapist and we hadn't had any positive result from the consultant at the hospital, really how could we improve the situation for Rebecca? Where could we turn next?
I went to a one-day conference, and as part of the conference was a fairly brief presentation about postural care. And I suddenly thought, gosh, this is really interesting, and could this work for Rebecca?
Fortunately, at that time, we had a new physiotherapist who we think had done a short course on postural care and was quite open to the suggestion of a sleep system. And he came along and he measured Rebecca's chest, and he found that it was quite significantly distorted and felt that a sleep system would be appropriate for her, and agreed to put a proposal forward for funding for the system. And eventually the system was provided.
Can you lift that up?
She had to gradually learn to lie on her back, to put her legs down so we could put her into what is called the knee cozy.
Can you lift your leg up?
And we did this very, very gradually, a few minutes, then that went into half an hour, and then gradually over the course of time she accepted it well, and she would then sleep through the night with it.
When Rebecca received the sleep system, it was delivered by a rep from the company, and he just showed us where the bits went and how to put them in and how to take them out. And after about an hour, he'd gone and left us with the system. So we felt we needed some additional advice. We managed to contact an organisation who were able to come and give us like a day's specific training for Rebecca and Rebecca's support staff and ourselves, and also some follow-up guidance afterwards, and that was a huge help.
You're going to have a sleep now.
Eventually, Rebecca's sister Ruth decided to train as a postural care trainer, and so she now trains Rebecca's team.
Can I sit here next to you?
For Rebecca's support staff, I think the fundamental thing is to make it relevant to their relationship with her. They know her very well, so I felt that anything I told them about postural care, if I could tell it through the situation with Rebecca personally, it would have more meaning for them. Your little cushion
For your bed.
that's next door, and that's going to... I go over the sleep system on a step-by-step basis because it's important, because of her physical need, that we put it in a particular way, and that checks are done as you go along, so that there's that consistency across the team.
That's it. Very good.
We've seen her go from this fetal lying position to being able to lie in her bed with her legs long and straight, She likes to do long legs. She's very impressed, or she impresses everybody when she does that.
Up a bit more.
That's
Very good.
That's better.
We have more or less straightened her chest shape. So the big bulge with the sternum and the rib cage has equalised. There's very little difference between one side and the other. Because she's sitting straighter, she can now manoeuvre her wheelchair around her home.
It was a big push.
She's opened up, she's more flexible, she's got far better arm movements. Her head now can turn where everything was locked in one position. So there has been a fantastic move forward.
Because she is much straighter, her internal organs are functioning a lot better. So things like her digestion is a great deal better. She's able to drink easily, which she didn't find easy before. We had to have the district nurse probably 3 or 4 times a week because of constipation. I can't remember when the district nurse last had to visit for that.
Although she can't tell us, but I think she appreciates what's happened to her body.
Can I do some physio with your fingers?
The parents, the staff, the family have all benefited hugely in our awareness of it being 24-hour and the fact that it's a team effort, and that includes her physiotherapist, her occupational therapist, going to hydrotherapy, going to the village hall to do her music. I think we're all far more aware that to keep her supple and moving in every part of her life all contributes to the standard of her postural care.
For the future, we need to continue looking for a suitable wheelchair for her. We need to ensure that we get a comfortable chair for her to sit in and be supported during the day, and obviously to continue with the sleep system at night.
I personally had never thought that Rebecca would make it to the age of 42. She's done that. That's a real goal and a real achievement. But I think the greater achievement is that we have been able to do something positive to make her life better. So it's never too late, I don't think, for anybody to achieve something through postural support.
Ready? Shut.